at the iconic circuit for yet another round of the Honda VTEC Challenge. We've got a bumper grid lined up for this coming race, so I'm going to hand you over to Richard John Neal, our commentator, for the roundup.
Thanks, Rachel. Mark Kemp on pole. Tuner pole goes to Rob Birkinshaw, then Mark Bennett and Chris Adams. Stuart Hutchinson fifth on the grid from Matthew Walker. Production pole Craig Smith from Phil Wright. Stuart King third in class, then Martin Kemp, followed by Ryan Fox, Lucas Beale, Will Watkin, Paula Webb, Peter Dunmore, Adam Twine completing the grid here at Brands Hatch. We are ready to race, and away we go. Tardy start from the sixth position, Matthew Walker, but it's Kemp a little bit slow as well. Birkinshaw leads at the moment, Rob Birkinshaw, but through goes on the inside Mark Kemp going through. On the outside line, Chris Adams, I think he's down in fourth at the moment. He's trying to hang on and get round the outside. Stu Hutchinson coming through in 85. Then it's Phil Wright who leads the productions in black. The Pink Panther is there in sixth place. The top four have managed to consolidate those four places. Stu Hutchinson was fifth on the grid, so he goes through as well. But Phil Wright, I think the best star. Hutchinson has got smoke everywhere. Big smoke screen from Stu Hutchinson right into the face of Phil Wright. Wright's got Lucas Beale right behind him as well in the number 4 car. Lucas running in the tuner class, so we might expect Lucas to maybe overcome Wright, but the question here is whether, well, it's answered before I ask it. That's Stu Hutchinson realises he's got a problem and goes into the pit lane and into retirement. Matthew Walker and Stuart King engaged in battle, and this is the third place car, Mark Bennett in the S2000. Mark Kemp out front, qualified second position by 1.473. Martin Kemp running in the Super Tuners as well, of course, this weekend. We'd expect him to move away. Phil Wright running well. Lucas Beale being followed by Matthew Walker. Now, to help you identify the cars and the classes, the discs on the rear quarter windows, blue disc means production class car. You can see that on the 31 machine of Phil Wright. The orange disc on the Super Tuner cars, and then the yellow on the tuners. So expect the STs to be out front. There's the number 10, Matthew Walker, looking to go through on the inside. And here we come along the straight. Phil Wright at the moment occupying the track that the number 4 car wants. And the tuner class car looking round the outside, very nearly 3 wide as they go into Paddock Hill Bend. And on the inside, it's Matthew Walker. Again, you'd expect the Super Tuner and the tuner cars to pass the production man who's out front. That just shows how well Phil Wright's driving. Driving superbly here, Wright. He's taken, remember the opening win of the year at Silverstone, one at Rockingham, both races there, one at Snetterton, one at Castle Combe. Bunch of second places as well. Just one retirement so far in the season for him, and that was at race 2 at Silverstone. Remember, this is a series and not a championship, so we don't have to worry about championship points. All of these guys are racing for honour within the race that you see, rather than having to worry about those points. There's 73, another winning driver, Stuart King in the productions, won both of the races, or the class in the races at Silverstone, one also at Snetterton. Mark Bennett still trying to hunt down Rob Birkinshaw. So Bennett running into, it's his second and third in the race, first and second in the tuner class. Through goes Chris Adams, he's running in the tuner class as well. And now Phil Wright, I think, has just been passed by Matthew Walker, who's got the outside line coming down from Druids in towards Graham Hill Bend. Wide moment there for Craig Smith, running well in the productions. The grey and light green Integra DC2. Will Watkin being chased by Ryan Fox along the Cooper Straight, and Watkin holding sway here at the moment. Watkin in the tuner class, Ryan Fox in the production. So this is the good thing about the Toyo Tyres Honda VTEC Challenge. You can race within class, you can race for overall position, but also we get some of the slower cars, different classes racing with the faster ones in others, so it all gets mixed up, which is great. Lucas Beale in the tuner class car has managed to get past Phil Wright now as well in the 31, and that's going to put Phil back into the other productions. So we can see 73, Stuart King in the productions closing in. Stuart with the black bonnet, largely white car, blue mirrors, blue stripes as well. He's coming up, so he's second in the production class at the moment, and he's going to try and catch up with the Big Panther to see if he can get a class win. So through Surtees and into McLaren, Phil Wright looking pretty handy at the moment, and coming into Clearways, he's got a car in between himself and Stuart King in second place at the moment, and then Craig Smith in third. So we've got a very close battle on between the two productions there. Craig Smith trying to hunt down Stu King at the moment. So the top three production class cars all pretty much together, with just one fly in the ointment as far as the second and third place cars are concerned. Matthew Walker still up ahead of these guys. Matthew in the Super Tuner number 10, running second in the Super Tuner class, with Mark Kemp, the overall race leader, walking away with it. We're in car with Mark Bennett, second in the Tuner class, chasing the Tuner class leader, which is Rob Birkinshaw. Birkinshaw having started on pole, not being lost at all. Through shot goes Chris Adams once again. So Wright's gone pop, and he realises straight away, and Phil Wright is out of the race. Let's hope that it's not entirely terminal or meeting terminal, and that leaves us with a battle going on for the production class right behind him. Really good stuff with Craig Smith and Stuart King side by side. Well, here's the view, wonderful blue sky and sunshine here at Brands Hatch, and here's the battle for the production lead, and I think going through, Stuart King's holding it at the moment, with Craig Smith in second position. Superb racing between those guys. Then we've got Lucas Bill. Lucas, remember, yellow disc, running in the tuner class. And at the moment, Lucas, we've got Rob Birkinshaw winning that from Mark Bennett. Chris Adams is third, so Lucas is fourth position in class. They deal with some of the slower cars and are sharing the track time with us here at Brands Hatch. Makes the racing as cost effective as possible for everybody, and it gives some excitement for the drivers having to work their way through the field. But this is great stuff from Stuart King. Craig Smith trying to hunt him down at the moment, and they come down into Graham Hill Bend, first and second in the productions, and we've got Ryan Fox coming up as well. So Ryan's having a very good run. Blue flags for the slower cars to come out of the way, and Ryan is back there behind Lucas Beale, so we'll see whether Ryan can get involved. Lucas, ideally in the tuner class car, should be able to pass the productions. That's the theory of it. And there's the 99, third place in class at the moment. Ryan Fox, who's looking, he was running fourth in class before the demise of Phil Wright, who joins Adam Twine, Martin Kemp and also Stuart Hutchinson in retirement. But here's the race leader, Mark Kemp, who's done a superb job. Fastest lap of the race of 53.46 seconds, well over 80 miles an hour. Here's the production battle. And the 20 having a very good look. Ryan Fox still in the mix as well. But here's the race leader, Mark Kemp, who's beginning to close up on those guys. They'll have to see the blue flags, and they'll be aware, obviously, of the faster car coming through. So Mark Kemp in the 67 goes through on the inside. I tell you what, that is actually a slowing Craig Smith. Craig Smith's down in third place now, but here's the race leader. As we would expect, the Super Tuner class car is going to take the overall race win, and dealing with the backmarker traffic superbly, and heading down to the checkered flag here at Brands Hatch. Mark Kemp takes his fourth win of the season. Rob Birkinshaw will take second position and a seventh class win of the year. Mark Bennett takes third place, so Mark Kemp winning Super Tuner and overall, Birkinshaw winning the tuner class, Mark Bennett next, then Matthew Walker and Chris Adams. Stuart King wins the productions, Lucas Bill next from Ryan Fox, Craig Smith, Will Watkin, Peter Dunmore and Paula Webb in 12th place, and confirmation of the retirements there as well.
Okay, so Mark, you qualified first. You got a clean start in the race and made it stick for podium. Tell us about how you felt out there for the race.
It was quite warm yesterday, so it was really demanding on me, demanding on the tyres and brakes. But I got away a decent lead, and then 5 laps from the end I started to lose the brakes, so to reel back off the pace. I was constantly looking in the mirror in case anyone caught me, but
Yeah, it was an incredibly hot race. I'm sure it had a playing factor on both car and driver for all of you.
Definitely. Everything wasn't working as efficient as normal with the heat, including me.
Well, you certainly made it stick one way or another, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Rob, can you tell us what happened as you went into the start, please?
Yeah, we had a bit of an average start, got a lot of wheel spin. We were side by side with Mark Kemp in the first corner. He left us after the first lap, and then it was a good race from then on, really.
Yeah, you had quite a battle going on with Mark for the duration of the race. How did that feel being on the receiving end of it?
Yeah, Mark and the S2000 were going well. I think it suits his car quite well here. I kind of hadn't got a perfect setup, but yeah, he were hassling me through the entire race. It was a good race.
OK, now we're with Mark Bennett, driver of car number 45, who came in third in the race. Mark, can you tell us about your start, first of all, please?
Yeah, I actually had quite a good start. Managed to squeeze myself in between Mark and Rob, and had Chris come up alongside me as well, but managed to hold off for third position, which was good, and then had to try and chase Rob after that.
Yeah, you had quite a battle going on with him during the rest of the race. How did that feel, and how do you feel about coming out on third place?
I was really pleased with that, actually. Normally Rob sort of pulls away from me, so to be keeping up with him now is really good. Had a couple of sort of half opportunities to get alongside him in with the traffic, some of the other cars, but couldn't quite make it. But it was an exciting race, good fun.
I'm here in the paddock with the owners of Panic Link Motorsport, who are sponsoring the Honda VTEC Challenge, and I'd like you to tell us and the viewers a little bit more about your involvement in the championship, please.
Well, we joined the championship last year. Mark joined it, my son. We enjoyed it very much. Everyone's very competitive but very fair out on track. There's no bullying, there's no barging at all. The organisers are very well organised, and we support it 100%. You know, so yeah, we're quite happy with it. It's a good sport to be in, without being being knocked about like stock cars.
Mark Kemp on pole position. Tuner pole, Rob Birkinshaw second in race one, then Mark Bennett and Matthew Walker. Chris Adams fifth, production pole to Stuart King, then Lucas Beale, Ryan Fox in eighth. Craig Smith next, Will Watkin, Peter Dunmore and Paula Webb. We're hoping that Phil Wright, Adam Twine, Martin Kemp and Stuart Hutchinson will join us on the grid. Kemp and Hutchinson are in fact on the grid. Wright and Twine sadly not taking to the start. Very good start by Rob Birkinshaw. Mark Bennett looks to the outside of Mark Kemp. Very difficult to get that Honda Civic Type R off the line. The ex-touring car, but he's made a good job of getting it through the gears and into second place. Here's the view from Stuart Hutchinson. New breather pipe on the car and goes through and past Paula Webb already. So a good start then by Stuart Hutchinson, the tuner class car running through some of the productions. There in 46 is Peter Dunmore, based in Suffolk, civil servant, and anybody can come racing. You don't have to be a mechanic or necessarily even a youngster. This championship, well, not a championship, the series, the competition is available for everyone. And Stu Hutchinson, who's had quite a few laps around here in the Quaife Motorsport News Championship over the years, running well, working his way through the field as we pick up on Craig Smith, podium finisher in the production class in race number one, has made a good start. And as you can see, Rob Birkinshaw has now been passed as perhaps we would have expected by the Super Tuner car of Mark Kemp, who is driving as ever superbly and getting away from Rob Birkinshaw. So Birkinshaw has won every racing class that he's finished so far this year. Just one retirement, which was at Snetterton. So Stu Hutchinson continues his charge through the field, coming down into Graham Hill Bend, mindful of the runoff there, one of the hot spots insofar as track limits goes. And he's working his way through the field. There's Will Watkin in 100, 99 ahead of him, Ryan Fox. So Ryan in the production class, Watkin in the tuner and trying to hunt him down. Lucas Beale in the 4, Stuart Hutchinson trying to come through on the inside of Will Watkin. He's going to make the move here, coming down into paddock. Really great shot of Paddock Hill Bend. You do see slightly how it dips away, but the best thing for you to do is come to Brands Hatch And just see for yourself how steep it is. It's an awesome corner. It's an awesome corner to walk down, even more awesome to go around. If you can get a track day, drive it yourself, maybe get a passenger ride. Stuart King still out front in the production class, so he's looking for win number 2. Lucas Beale's got a loose window on the car. It's going to be very off-putting for him, so whether he'll possibly get a flag to tell him to come in and pit and sort that out, but at the moment perhaps the officials haven't noticed it and he'll carry on. Now we've got a shared track, as you can see, and the drivers have to weave their way through the slower cars. Matthew Walker goes through. There's Stu Hutchinson just going through, shot in blue. Here's the view, so he's got to try and weave his way through these slower cars, trying to close down on Matthew Walker. Walker in the Super Tuner car up ahead of him. Stuart Hutchinson will try and close in on him. Goes down on the inside of one of the Smarts along Cooper Straight. This has been a very good drive by Hutchinson. I suspect that whilst he won't have enjoyed race number 1 with the retirement on the opening lap of the race, that he'll be enjoying his track time here coming through the field. Mark Kemp though, look at the authority he's doing here. 53 second lap once again, 53.4. Excellent lap speed from the man who set the overall pole. Fastest lap in race number 1. Looks like he's going to grab another class win here. So Kemp very much on his way and building a very good, big, healthy lead at the moment. Out of clearways. Rob Birkinshaw still running in second position. Mark Bennett in third. And there's the production class leader, Stuart King. Drove superbly in race number 1. Looks like he's going to do it. Oh, and a rollover from one of the Smarts. That is going to be, without question, a red flag. That's not what we want. Hopefully the driver okay. But as we say, in the interest of safety, the red flag comes out to recover the stricken driver in the Smart car. And that means that Mark Kemp will come into pit lane recovery vehicle going out to attend to the stricken car. Mark Kemp, Rob Birkinshaw and company have got to do it all again, and we'll see a restart. Cars are ready for the restart. Kemp and Birkinshaw on the front row. Kemp makes a great start there. Mark Bennett from third, but look at Stuart King, slots through into fourth place. Superb start from him. So they've got to do it all again. Not so much work this time for Stuart Hutchinson, who is in the mix as well. And Hutchinson coming through. We'll see whether he can get ahead of Stuart King here. He's on the outside line trying to get it. Ryan Fox and Matthew Walker right behind him. You can see Craig Smith is a little bit further back than he would like to be at the moment. But Mark Kemp made a very good getaway there. Conditions are somewhat greasier now. Wide line there for Matthew Walker. Comes back onto the circuit. Doesn't cause too many problems. So it looks like a good start by everybody. And it's Mark Kemp leading. Rob Birkinshaw second. Mark Bennett is third. Then we've got Stuart King. Stuart Hutchinson is in fact up ahead of them. And Matthew Walker, remember, tuner class car, chasing the lead production. So Stu Hutchinson's tuner, so it's Mark Kemp out front, Rob Birkinshaw leading tuner car from Mark Bennett, Stu Hutchinson third in tuners, then the production of Stuart King. Here they come across the line. Matthew Walker in his Super Tuner class car trying to put the pressure on Stuart King once again. He's going to look to the outside line here at Druids. This could be brave, sometimes doable in slippery conditions. So coming down Graham Hill, wide line in here. This could be about teeing up Stu King to have a look on the entrance into Surtees. He's a little bit too far back, I think, at the moment, and even though he's got a Super Tuner car, he does close up, but not enough to make the move through. He's still hounding the production class car, and he's going to maybe have a look up the inside line here as they come into clearways. King goes wide to deal with the back-marking car. And they come across the line again, so King running well. I can tell you, sadly, we've actually lost Rob Birkinshaw from this one. So it's Mark Kemp, in actual fact, from Mark Bennett. Stu Hutchinson in third. Stuart King, you saw dicing there for what is fourth position now with Matthew Walker. Walker running second in Super Tuner. but Mark Kemp is away, and a huge lead, well over 10 seconds now over Mark Bennett in second. Bennett still leading the tuner class though, second overall. But here comes Mark Kemp. Rounds Clark Curve onto the Brabham Straight and will head up towards the checkered flag to make it 2 wins out of 2 here in the Toyo Tyres Honda VTEC Challenge at Brands Hatch. Mark Bennett takes second place and wins the tuner class. Third goes to Stuart Hutchinson, second in tuners. Stu King is fourth, he wins the production class. Then it was Matthew Walker, Ryan Fox second in production, Craig Smith third in production, then Will Watkin, Paula Webb, Lucas Beale in 10th place, and 11th position is Martin Kemp.
Okay, Mark, so a very different race today. First of all, tell us how the red flag affected you at the early part of the race.
It affected me quite a bit. I was sat on the line and the car doesn't like to tick over for too long standing still. It's starting to get hotter and hotter. I was just praying for him to start the race to get going.
So you were getting a bit worried out there?
Yeah, I think 5 minutes longer and I've had to retire, so I'm pleased it started when they did.
So it could have been a very different race for you?
Definitely. I got away with the lead for a start, and then to have to do that again, it was like 2 races in one.
Yeah, so the second half of the race, if you like, it wasn't without drama either, because the weather did finally close in on us and it started to rain. How was the car set up for that, and how did you handle it?
The car's not set up for the wet, but I knew that there was a chance of rain, so from the start I charged away to get myself some space and then just backed off the pace then as the rain started to come down.
So Mark, second in the race, you were having a dice with Rob Birkinshaw in the earlier one. How do you feel about losing him today?
Yeah, it was interesting, sort of race 2 halves. It was the first one, I was with Mark and Rob for a short time, and then they both cleared off, and there was no one really behind me either, so the restart made it a bit more exciting.
So the red flag actually worked in your favour, you think?
Yeah, definitely. I got a good start, got alongside Rob, and then going up through paddock, his clutch went, unfortunately, for Rob, so I managed to get into second.
So Stuart, you've clearly had quite a race, starting from the back and finishing on the podium. Talk us through it.
Well, yesterday we had issues with an oil leak, so we DNF'd yesterday, so started right from the back, even behind the smart cars today. So I had to clear those first before we can get to the back of the Honda guys. So I managed to do that before the first bend, so I got stuck into the Hondas then. Had a couple of really good laps, was quite lucky with some of them, getting past some nice moves down Paddock Hill Bend, and it came really well, was doing well about halfway through the race, so it's about 5th, and then we had the red flag incident with the smart car.
So that's it for another weekend's racing of the exciting Honda VTEC Challenge from here at Brands Hatch. We've had it all this weekend. Yesterday, scorching hot weather, and today, torrential downpours. So join us next time for more exciting racing from the Honda VTEC Challenge.